CEO's report, which is in a whole new format. I've been very flash. No questions? No. Yanni.
Thank you. I note that we've requested a meeting as a council with the Minister for Culture and Heritage, and I note in your list of meetings that you attended a meeting with her. So I just really wanted to get a feel for what was discussed and if we may be able to get some sort of report back, and when the meeting that we've requested is going to happen.
I can't tell you when that meeting will happen. So the Minister was down here doing a number of things and met with the Mayor and myself, really to talk about the, I guess, their aspirations in terms of heritage and the work that the Ministry is doing for the future. It was really just a very general, informal discussion.
So, like, I think we've tried to, as a council, meet with the Minister for about 3 years. And
follow up and
I just think it's really important, like there's a heritage recovery strategy I think has been adopted by the government, but it would be really good to try and have a further discussion and get that meeting happening.
Happy to.
So is that something you can follow up with?
I'm happy to follow that up.
Yeah. Okay. And then just also, like, when those meetings happen, is there a reporting back process so we can be kind of aware of what's being discussed?
Yeah, it was just an informal meeting, but I'm sure that we could set up something to make sure that perhaps that you briefed at your informals on Mondays.
I think that would be really useful. Yeah, thanks.
Andrew.
On page 22, just referring to the issue of capital expenditure and earthquake rebuild expenditure, obviously some significant variances there between the plan and the actual.
Yes.
Are there any particular projects that are driving those? And are we expecting to see this trend continue between now and year end? Like, is that figure expected to get bigger as the financial year progresses?
So there are some specific projects which I could give you a list of. Things like Sumner Road, which have been planned in the budget and now be held over, and other areas are likely more timing issues, So around provision of roads and footpaths, some things around the upgrades, cycleways, and areas such as, sorry, I've just got them here. Some of the areas in terms of the facilities rebuilds where we've had decisions coming through council. So there is a list of that which we can give you and give you more detail around those things. In terms of what's going forward, we're doing a piece of work around looking at how we provide the capital services end to end, to look at where we can streamline that and to make sure that we actually don't overpromise, but we're clear about what can be delivered and making sure that we don't waste time in terms of delivery of those projects as well. So that's underway, and we'll be able to come back to council before the end of June with a plan around that.
Thank you. Move. Sorry, Dave, did you have a question or moving?
Yeah, just on the levels of service, we remain on track to deliver 85% of the level of service targets. Are there any particular areas that are underperforming in that level of service? We're getting an 80%, 85%, so obviously some will be doing well, but are there any particular units that are underperforming?
Good question. Not in any great degree. We largely like to hit our target, although we've had some major areas of risk, like the long-term plan. Now that we've got to this point, we can improve in terms of our forecasting around those sorts of things. Areas such as Building consents obviously been a problem in the past, have improved dramatically. We may never actually reach the 100% target for various reasons, but likely to get closer to those. There's no one particular area that we're concerned about, but we need to just make sure we lift them across the whole broad range of areas.
We can move Paul, second to that. Put that. Those in favour, please say aye. Those opposed, carried. And I was also supposed to move the supplementary information, the supplementary reports, which include Waimari Road pedestrian crossing, Riccarton Racecourse and Barrington Park Playground, which is a separate circulation. Sorry?
I just had a question over the need for these to be supplementaries. I understand the first one and the third one, but the second one I don't understand why that has to come as a late supplementary.
The Riccarton Racecourse land.
And I would like it to, well,
but I think, is there an
came
urgency about it? My hunch is that there is, in that the government is about to introduce a local bill. I think there is an urgency associated with it, but we'll get that information for you. At the moment, I'm just going to...
Okay.
So you can debate that at the time when we debate it.
I'm happy to support the other two.
Right. I'm going to move all these three. Seconded, Dave. I'll put the two that Yanni's in favour of first. I'll put those in favour, please say aye. Those opposed, carried. And then the Riccarton one, I'll move. Dave will second. Those in favour, please say aye. Those opposed, carried. So it's 2 against. Recorded. Andrew and Yanni. Okay. We're